here not too long from now, we've got the fights over in Times Square getting ready to start up. The ring's been all set up, but I wanted to ask you in particular the way that the ring was set up. There's everything is blocked off. The fans can't walk by and see it, so it's in Times Square, but it's kind of obscure and you can't really see anything. What are your thoughts on that?
I just don't know what we would never do anything like that. So I can't really comment on what somebody else does. For me, it makes no sense. If they wanted, these are good fights, pretty good fights, and if they wanted to do these fights, they should have done it in the theater at Madison Square Garden or even Radio City Music Hall. I wouldn't select Times Square as a venue. But again, you're dealing with well-meaning people in Turkey, Al-Sheikh. He's a big boxing fan, and for some reason, he really thinks that doing this event in Times Square with all the problems is a good idea. Well, if he was an American promoter, I would know how to criticize him, but he's not an American promoter, so I keep my mouth shut.
And Mr. Arum, a lot has been made about the fans are the ones that are basically losing out on this such a tremendous card, but there's not many people that are going to be in attendance live, so it may not have the feel of a big fight card that these guys deserve.
Well, and also they're charging people on pay-per-view to watch these three fights. Now, none of these fights, they're good fighters, but none of them are pay-per-view fights. I think it hurts the industry when you charge people for fights that aren't really worthy of being charged for, like these three fights. Or like the Canelo fight that comes up the next night from Saudi Arabia, from Riyadh. That's not a pay-per-view fight. Now, if you take Canelo and Crawford, now that's a pay-per-view fight, right? But I understand that's not going to be on pay-per-view.
Correct.
So, I can't understand
which is different because you think that that fight was the pay-per-view fight and this fight should be the free fight, so to speak.
It's almost like everything is topsy-turvy.
And you've been in the game for so long. You've been in the sport for so long, Mr. Arum. You've seen guys try to come in and reinvent the wheel, so to speak, in boxing. How long does a flash in the pan like that last?
Well, it depends on the size of the bankroll. If you're trying to reinvent the wheel and you have an unlimited bankroll, you can have a long career reinventing the wheel. That doesn't mean you'll reinvent it, but you'll have a long runway to do that.
Have a lot of prototypes. But with that, and as a person naturally that he becomes a competitor, so to speak, with that large of a bankroll, does that lead you into things like maybe not joint ventures, but collaborations with folks like PBC?
Well, collaborations with PBC has always been a good thing. I've always advocated that for Top Rank. And collaborations with whatever Turkey's doing is also a good thing. Again, how can you fault some of the fights that he's been putting on and the purses that he's been paying? That's win-win for everybody. So again, I don't look at the Saudis as competition. I look at them as colleagues.
A beautiful concept there is that everybody should be working together.
Exactly. Listen, they've made fights that we promote very, very rich that we couldn't have done, like Tyson Fury. He made $200 million in the three fights that he fought under the Riyadh season banner. Now that's incredible, and that's good. I mean, that's not bad. That's good. One of our fighters was able to make life-changing money because of the Saudis. So how can you fault that?
Absolutely. And when we talk about that, what would Bob Arum and Top Rank be able to do with that Saudi bankroll? What type of fights would you be able to put on? What would be the vision of
but
boxing?
that's not the point. Number one, we don't have that bankroll, and so to figure out how, if we had that bankroll, what we could do differently is sort of a waste of everybody's time and energy. I mean, you know, give me the bankroll and then I'll tell you what I'm going to do with it.
Understood. Teofimo fighting. Teofimo fights at 3. You think that's early for, again, it's the Times Square fight. You say everything's a little bit topsy-turvy, but a fighter of Teofimo's caliber kind of opening up the card and fighting at 3.
I think it's 6, right?
But it's 3 our time.
3,
right.
yeah. It's 6 o'clock. Well, it is what it is, you know. If you want to take their money, you gotta dance to their tune, man. I mean, right? If he's against fighting that early, then he shouldn't have done the fight.
Absolutely, because he's got a deal in that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's fair. If somebody is offering you more money than you would get otherwise, they have a right to put you on at whatever time they want.
Okay.
It seems to me.